of understanding. There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am sovereign. Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation, an accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Extinction is inevitable. The cycle cannot be broken. The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Rise. What? is nothing but a genetic mutation, an accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything.
All right, I think I got everything set up. My voice should be a lot louder sounding now. I fixed some shit with the compressor, so it should sound more even now. I don't know if I'm too loud. I think maybe once or twice in my lifetime somebody has accused me of being too loud. Those people are not with us anymore, so please watch your words. But that's the beauty. That is the absolute beauty. Oh, cool. Yeah, nobody is watching this. 17 viewers. That's the absolute beauty of having a compressor. And I recommend this to everybody, to get a hardware compressor. And also to have a microphone that doesn't just randomly rotate. Because a hardware compressor is like the best thing in the world. So like, again, honestly, I go through trouble to nail. She's going to be nailed, all right. I honestly, what a compressor does is, yes, my head is very large because I got so many good thoughts inside of it. So many good and pure thoughts. No, you guys aren't nobody. That's not what I was saying. I was saying, like, compared to people, professional streamers like Markiplier, and the guy who likes Nazis, you know, that one. That I'm not popular, and I know why, because I play shitty games. So I wasn't calling you guys nobodies. You're somebodies, but I'm just saying there's not more somebodies than that. Anyways, what a hardware compressor does is what any compressor does, actually. It takes the quiet things, makes them louder, takes the loud things and makes them quieter. So like right now, if I'm speaking like this is really low. And on most channels, you would get ear fatigue because you'd be speaking and it wouldn't be compressing. And so people's ears would have to listen extra loud. But then you yell. And then everything, their ear has to change to hear less. So that's called ear fatigue. That's what a compressor does. I'm going to start Dungeons and Dragons. This is a special 60 minutes report, which means that it will be copyright stricken, stroke. It will be copywritten, stroked. But we're going to lead into this, and then we're going to lead into a very exciting and enchanting documentary / movie, again, about Satanism. And then I have to leave, like, in, not for 3 hours, because I have to get more MRIs and X-rays. I love it. I love getting MRIs. If you haven't gotten an MRI, they put you inside that big machine where there's a tube, and they put you in the tube, and then it goes like this for like 7 hours. Aruga, boing, like that. That's an MRI. And I saw this woman freak out. She was supposed to get an MRI, and she was an MRI, and she was in front of me, and she saw it. She goes, "Oh Lord, no, I'm not getting in that thing. I'm not getting in that thing." And she was like backing up and like going to the back door. She's like, "Lordy, I'm not getting in that." And I'm not trying to be racist. These are the words that she said. She goes, "I'm not going in there. I'm not. We scheduled this because I ain't doing this now." And I was just like, okay, well, I get to go into the hell machine quicker. Here we go.
D&D, it's become popular with children anywhere from grammar school on up. Not so with a lot of adults who think it's been connected to a
By the way, this is the best quality I could find this video, so don't complain that it's like 3x4 pixels.
number of suicides and murders. The idea of the game, which is played by highly imaginative and intelligent kids, is to assume the role of one of the characters. One game can go on for weeks or even months.
I like how he sets it up. One game can go on for weeks or months. Like, he doesn't mention that you can interrupt the game and stop and pick it up. So hypothetically, you could play one game and not finish it, and then 10 years later, like, you want to finish the game? Like, sure. Oh, okay, well, Dungeons and Dragons lasts for a decade then.
It seems to be that some kids take it more seriously than others, take it a step further, playing a character who brings them the power in a game they couldn't possibly get in real life.
Unlike every single video game in the world. But Dungeons and Dragons is bad because it gives you a character who has a sense of power. But not like video games where you're just committing genocide, basically, on alien planets and robots and whatnot, and killing bad guys, just faceless millions and millions of bad guys. This is different because you have dice.
About 2 months ago, a green eyeball was seen up in the sky.
He hasn't even started the game yet. He's just stating facts. Dear Mike Wallace, about 2 months ago, a green eyeball was seen in the sky.
Eyeball was so big it blotted out the sun, okay?
Oh, it's the sun blotting eyeball. Okay, I gotcha.
These young people are playing
No, it's not a beholder because they're not green and they're not big enough to block out the sun.
Dungeons and
Dork.
Dragons. It's an enormously complicated game in which each player chooses an imaginary character he'll assume. There are dwarfs, knights and thieves, gods and devils, magic and spells. It's a journey into
That's
a
it.
land of fantasy.
That's all they are.
Complicated mazes where you use your wits to kill your enemies before they kill you. All in a
Again, unlike any video game, this was from like 1993, I believe. So, like, unlike Nintendo games where you use your wits and your weapons to shoot anybody who stands in your way to get to the end in the treasure and rescue the princess and put her in the treasure chest and ship the treasure chest off to Abu Dhabi where Garfield will approve of it. This is completely different.
quest for wealth and power. The Dungeon Master orchestrates and referees the game, creating scenarios both complicated and terrifying. There is no board, only the dice.
I've never seen dice like these.
I've never seen dice like these. What do you mean the number goes up to 20? How could there possibly be that many numbers? Usually the dice that I've seen go up to 6, but 20? Consider me blown the fuck away.
Six-sided.
What's the point of that?
They're for different things. The four-sided is used mainly for damage from a dagger and dart, and magic users hit points. Hit points is the damage that you can take before you die.
He doesn't care.
Those who are fearful that the game in the hands of vulnerable kids could do harm, and there is evidence that seems to support that view. Timothy Grice, 21, a shotgun suicide. The detective report noted D&D became a reality. Irving Bink Pulling, 16, an avid D&D player, a suicide. Daniel and Stephen Irwin, 16 and 12, a murder and a suicide.
It's weird because, you know, you might be able to like look at all these cases and link the fact that they've read books before too. You could be like an avid book reader. And so books are basically telling people, how many hit points do I have? 3. I have 3 hit points. And it usually goes down to 2 if I don't drink something with caffeine in it. Mexican Coke, in this case. So, but anyways, you could say all these kids watched movies. That's why they're murderers. That's why they're suiciders. They just like elves.
The police said they were obsessed with the game. James Allen Kirby, 14 years old, charged with killing his junior high school principal and wounding 3 other people. Police are blaming D&D.
USA.
Jeffrey Jaklovich, 14. Stephen Loyacano, 16. Michael Dempsey, 17. And the list goes on.
Fantasy
The
game.
company that makes the Dungeons and Dragons material is TSR Incorporated of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. They estimate there are 3 to 4 million kids who play the game. Last year, they grossed nearly $30 million with Dungeons and Dragons books and paraphernalia accounting for most of those sales. Gary Gygax owns the company and invented the
Gary Gygax is here.
Dieter Sturm is the head of
And Dieter.
There are a number of cases that have been documented where there is some connection between D&D. I'm not saying that D&D is the cause of the death.
Those children failed their saving throw.
Has been found at the scene of the death. Notes, suicide notes referring to the game have been found. And all of these people, in a dozen or so cases, have been documented as avid D&D players. And you see no connection whatsoever?
We see no connection for the fact that right now there's some 3 to 4 million players of the game actively throughout the United States. Right at this particular time, 1985, teenage suicide is epidemic across the country with some 5,000 kids a year now taking their lives. I think that
is 5,000 dead people a year really an epidemic? Excuse me.
Does not participate in high school sports or what per se.
I have yet to see one bit of valid clinical evidence to show that
Thanks, Gary.
this has been anything more
Merry Christmas. Here's my sweater.
coincidental with a disturbed child.
If you found 12 kids in murder-suicide with one connecting factor in each of them, wouldn't you question it?
Yeah, they were white. What about that? All those kids were white. All those kids went to school. All those kids had a mother. All those kids watched movies. All those kids read books. All those kids watched TV. There's a lot of connecting factors in between these murderous, suicidal, horrible children. And I'm pretty sure it's not Dungeons and Dragons. But then again, like I said, saving throw versus suicide could have been failed. Saving throw versus murder could have been failed. Can't win them all.
Would certainly do it in a scientific manner, and this is unscientific.
Scientific.
It's nothing but a witch hunt.
But the families who have suffered the loss of a loved one would disagree. Pat and Lee Pulling.
Witch hunt was probably the worst term he could have used.
Pullings came home one night.
More like an elf hunt, Gary.
Found Bink, their son, dead on the front lawn of their home in Montgomery, Virginia. He shot himself through the heart with his father's handgun.
Shot through the heart, and Dungeons and Dragons is to blame, darling. You give elves a bad name. Bum bum.
Until that night, they had never heard of the game Dungeons and Dragons. Then they
And they still haven't.
through his things.
We went into the kitchen, and there on the table were what we thought were just regular composition books with schoolwork in it, and much of the Dungeons and Dragons material, along with this curse he had received in the game that day that he...
Thank you, Attila, for the huffs.
It was placed on
Attila, I can't even do that last name.
again. Your soul is mine. I choose.
Thank you very much for the huffs.
In a letter that he left,
And the 666.
summoned to kill himself because he was evil.
It was obvious through his writings that he felt he had assumed this character. But what I couldn't get into my mind was, is it possible? How could anybody do that? How could a 16-year-old that is smart, intelligent, why would they...
He's not that smart if he shot himself in the front lawn. Because honestly, the quickest way to end a Dungeons and Dragons game is to just say, okay, I'm gonna have my elf kind of just take my dagger and stab myself in the heart and die. I'm just gonna commit suicide right off the bat. And then they're like, okay, well, you're dead. And you're like, can I play again? They're like, no, you can't. I'm sorry.
They believed that they were something in a game, and why would they kill themselves? Because somebody else said to do it.
Your son was well-adjusted?
Always. He had...
Yeah, right. Did your son, who shot himself in the front lawn because of Dungeons and Dragons, was he well adjusted? I'd say no. Due to the whole kind of, suicide thing, but what do I know?
Logical problems. He was healthy, even physically healthy.
Well, we found that
Healthy enough to pick up a gun.
parents who say that the child's had no problems and such, very conclusively, we go back to details of reports of classmates, of teachers, of friends and such, who very much kind of show that the youngster didn't fit in
But
school.
you're admitting that you personally killed these children, correct?
Family.
We know that in the case of Dungeons and Dragons, upwards of 3 million kids play the game with no apparent serious.
I've got a bag full of Dungeons and Dragons. What about you?
Exercises the imagination and is just good fun. But there are those who are afraid that impressionable, vulnerable kids could be harmed by it. Dr. Thomas Radecki is a psychiatrist who teaches at the University of Illinois Medical School and who is chairman of the National Coalition on Television Violence.
Television violence. Oh.
Game for several years and says
So he's a fame chaser. Okay.
related to Dungeons and Dragons in the last 5 years.
In some of those, it was clearly the decisive element. In other ones, it was just a major element in the thinking of the people at the time they committed suicide.
The child loaded shotgun shells with 20-sided dice and shot his own head off.
You have eyewitnesses. For instance, one case, the parents were actually saw their child summon Dungeons and Dragons demons into his room before he killed himself. Another.
This man's a doctor, by the way. I need to go back to that for a second. Hold on. I think I misheard that because I think what I just heard is that the parents saw the child summon a demon before he died. I think I need to go back and hear that again.
Saw their child summon Dungeons and Dragons demons into his room before he killed himself. Another.
Yeah, okay. He didn't only summon a demon into his room. He's not just like, yo, any demon, just show up, come on, like the Fonzarelli. He was just like, I want a Dungeons and Dragons demon to fucking show up right here. I want Mecha Jiraxis to show up and say, fuck you, Mom and Dad, I'm dying. And then he died, and excellent, ha 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 ha. If anybody at Blizzard wants to hire me to do voices for Hearthstone, I'm cheap and I'm totally there. I've got a great audio setup, so.
Other case, the kid thought he had the ability to astral travel coming from the Dungeons and Dragons game, that he could leave his body and come back. And he had rigged it up just according to the rule book so he could do it. He was surrounded by his materials and put a bullet in his head so he could leave his body, and he's never come back.
How do you know, Doctor? If he went to the astral plane and he came back into somebody else's body, you don't know that he's dead. Stupid fucking doctors think that they know nothing.
This is make-believe, and nobody's murdered, and there's no violence there. I mean, to use an analogy with another game, who is bankrupted by losing a game of Monopoly? Nobody is, because the money is make-believe.
No, because I spent the last of my $20 on Monopoly, so I did go bankrupt thanks to Monopoly. Fuck you, Garrett Gaiax! Your art sucks!
The property is make-believe, and the bankruptcy is make-believe.
It is not like Monopoly. There is no board. It is role-playing, which is typically used for behavior modification. If you are using behavior modification and you are doing violent roles and you're doing negative roles continuously, these children not only begin to have violent dreams or violent thoughts or negative, depressing type things, they become very much a part of this character.
You're role-playing, you're rehearsing, you're developing the character hour after hour, day after day. We're really talking about intense involvement in a very serious form of violence.
He's got a point here because I used to play as an elf, right? And I would play all the time Dungeons and Dragons as an elf, you know, just elf all over the shit. Just elf as far as the eye can see. That's why I'm so good with archery in real life. I mean, I can take a bow and arrow and just launch it and it hits the target from 1,000 yards away. I was trained through Dungeons and Dragons on how to be the perfect assassin.
The important thing to remember is, if you're playing a character, let's say, for instance, you have an evil character. The rules tell you your evil character is allowed in the scope of the rules to murder people and to rape and plunder. If you're playing a good character, you're the defender of the people.
I'm gonna have to stop him there just because of the fact that rape probably isn't the best thing to have in your as a dungeon master. I've heard a lot of stories about people who are like, yeah, we thought their dungeon master was cool, but then we all started getting raped, and it turns out he was just into it for some sexual fantasy violence thing. It's like, you might want to choose a different dungeon master.
You try to stop the people from raping and plundering.
Yeah.
But it's just your character that does it on the sheet of paper.
Piper.
When the game is over, the game does not tell you to go
Game.
rape and plunder.
But for some kids, it's not as simple as that. Melissa claimed that D&D had become more than just a game for her brother Bink.
Someone threatened
Her brother's name is Bank? Ooh, my dead brother Bank. Oh, Banksy.
Yes. My brother threatened to kill me one time.
Did he? Did he kill you?
And we found out later that he had threatened to kill her if she told us that he was playing the game. She knew it, and she was actually scared for her life.
After her son's death, Pat Pulling thoroughly investigated the game. She felt so strongly that it was responsible for her son.
YouTube never alerts people to my stream.
Concerned people to warn others about the dangerous aspects of the game.
Was that Richard Mole?
Of her involvement with D&D, Mrs. Pulling is often consulted by police departments.
Has placed you in a precarious position. You're playing the most phenomenal game ever created. Your skin grows cold from your first glimpse of the enormous beast. It's a product of your imagination. Survival depends on a quick, decisive move. Your choices are limited. Stand and fight, or run. Use your lightning bolt.
Hold on, I want to go back to use your lightning bolt. That's almost as good as magic missile.
Survival depends on a quick, decisive move. Your choices are limited. Stand and fight, or run. Use your lightning bolt.
This woman doesn't have a character sheet. Neither is the Green Goblin over there. Dear God, I would like to see napalm dropped on that room right about now.
Victory is yours. Win the treasure. TSR Hobbies, Dungeons and Dragons games, products of your imagination.
Because of her involvement with D&D, Mrs. Pulling is often consulted by police departments around the country.
About rocks.
Last November, in this deserted area outside the small town of Lafayette, Colorado, two brothers, Daniel and Stephen Irwin, 16 and 12 years old, were
rolled a die.
It was a murder-suicide. The story was widely
They put the die into die.
television, as was the fact that the police said the deaths were caused by the boys' obsession with the game Dungeons and Dragons. Officer Greg Corey was assigned to the case when the boys were first reported missing. He learned that they used to come to this railroad trestle to play the game.
Both boys were here when you came.
Nothing more fun than a Dungeons and Dragons game with one player.
Intertwined down in this area, the older boy in this area here, the younger boy laying here with the .22 caliber gun next to his head. Where the gun was found was just to the right of his head area.
As a police officer, as an investigator, did you see...
Do you think crime is illegal?
...here in the game Dungeons and Dragons?
And the investigation showed that it was a focal point of the boys' lives. They were just enthralled in the game. And this comes from witnesses and the family. And
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm not that skilled or experienced with, well, anything, but specifically Dungeons and Dragons, amongst other things. But where in any book Gary Gygax has ever, or TSR has ever printed as say, you're traveling to a mystical castle with the wizard and the fairy king goblin, but first there's an abandoned town with some train tracks, and you might want to go under the trestle and shoot yourself in the head, or shoot the other guy in the head and then kill yourself. I don't remember that being part of like any of the scenarios, but again, I also don't remember the green eyeball blocking out the sun, so that's... It could be psionics. I don't know. I never... Or that... shit, what was the one with the floating... the stupid floating boats that went through the... I can't remember.
They were totally obsessed with the game. In fact, would play it for 48 hours straight.
Windjammers. That's what it was.
2 weeks after the police chief announced that Dungeons and Dragons had been the cause of the boys' deaths, he issued a final press release with a different version of his earlier statements. TSR claimed they were vindicated, but Pat Pulling couldn't believe that the police changed their story.
And I said, well, you can't change it if it's
Good spell jamming reference, Eric.
I mean, children are dying, Ed. Children are dying out there, and people are not telling.
Well, then maybe don't have guns lying around the house, you dumb bitch. How hard is that? If the kids are shooting each other, don't have guns. Don't have some sort of fucked up life where your kid has to go down to the train tracks to play Dungeons and Dragons with one person, the fucking dungeon master. The dungeon master's like, okay, you're at the beginning of the dungeon. I want to go in the dungeon. Okay, you're in the dungeon. I want to look around the dungeon. Okay, you look around the dungeon, you find a gun. How about I shoot you and then I shoot myself? Well, I'll roll for it. Yep, okay, you can do that. Great, the game's over now. Yeah, we'll never play again. This is wonderful. This is what I've always wanted. That's the conversation that they had.
Mrs. Pulling was convinced that it was the threat of a lawsuit by TSR
Dungeons and Dragons
that made the police chief change his story.
Did you threaten to sue the city?
No, we did not threaten to sue. We did send them a letter, which we asked them in a very kind way that they please further investigation and take a look at exactly what all the evidence is and what the details are specifically before they start calling the name of our product into it as being a blame or cause.
But Mrs. Pulling
Reasonable.
received a letter from the police chief.
I like it. I like how he sets up this so-called interview with he talks to the people from TSR and he's like, so your game kills hundreds of thousands of children directly because they play your game, correct? The guy said, no, that's not correct. And then they cut to some woman with a pearl necklace, literally, and pearl earrings, literally, and then they go, but this woman thinks differently. So they're just like negating everything that the person says, and they're ending it with her. So it's just like, so Dungeons and Dragons doesn't kill people, but what about this person?
Yet, in which he said that it was his fear of a lawsuit that made him back off.
Yes, he sent me a letter.
The letter to Mrs. Pulling from the chief of police said in part, I sincerely hope you will understand what has happened.
Oh, this is like Star Wars.
I do not feel very good about myself, and I feel that I have lost a part of my integrity. May I say that the city administrator and city attorney were very supportive of me, but cautious.
P.S. Send foot pics. I think you're hot.
Was predominant.
I wept. I mean, I said, boy, maybe somebody is going to really take and pay attention to this now and start doing some serious research and start stopping children from dying over something that they didn't have to die.
What? Wait, what? Did she say stabbing children?
And start stopping children.
Stopping children!
They didn't have to die.
I thought she was talking about stabbing children.
Suggesting that your intentions
Uncle Gary.
were anything but good.
Uncle Gary drives a van.
But in the light of what some people would consider to be strong evidence, don't you really think that you have to rethink your position about the game and at least make known the potential?
Look how many notes he has.
Well, I again have to go back and say there's no link that this is, except perhaps...
This is the greatest interview because they just keep saying the same thing. They're just like, there's no link between suicide, murder, and Dungeons and Dragons. And then they cut back to the 60 Minutes guy. It's like, but don't you think that there's a link between murder and suicide with Dungeons and Dragons? And then the guy's just like, no, I don't think that there's a link between there's suicide and Dungeons and Dragons. They haven't proven anything, and I've never seen any scientific reports about it. But just don't you believe that Dungeons and Dragons is responsible for killing millions of children? No, I don't. But you do. I do not. Yes, you do. And you should. Because Barbara Conglomerate, I don't know why I picked that as a last name. Barbara Conglomerate says her child picked up a bow and arrow and tried to shoot himself in the face with it and failed when he missed his head. What do you think about that? There is no link between it. But don't you think that there is?
minds of those people who are looking desperately for any other cause than perhaps their own failure as a parent for their
There you
child's
go.
death.
There you go.
And
Lay it into him, Gary.
anything can be abused. Are we going to try to go around and say, this chair could be used by a violent person to strike another person. Therefore, it should have a warning label on it saying, caution, this can be used to assault you with.
And we have that these days.
Inquiry by the Consumer Product Safety Commission to actually look into these deaths, to call the police, call the detectives forward, bring forth the evidence.
P.S. I've called the cops to try to find my missing hairline.
An open public inquiry, and let's find out the truth.
This Friday, the town of Putnam, Connecticut will hold a town meeting to discuss whether Dungeons and Dragons should continue to be played in their schools.
Finally, Putnam, Connecticut, getting all their shit together. This was, of course, back in the 80s, so I don't know if Putnam County, Connecticut still does this, but I'm really excited to learn.
The suicide of a 13-year-old Putnam boy.
Putnam boy. Putnam boy. Coming up next, surfboards. Can you eat them? Are they deadly?
On the phone, we asked 2 college students to call.
My name is Sarah.
To Sarah Maxa, he identified himself as
Tom
Brady.
To Rebecca Howland.
He said he was
Tom Brady.
doctor, and I said, what kind? And he said he was a psychiatrist.
But Dr. Radecki does not tell the prospective clients who call his 800 number a piece of information that we found in the state records in Illinois. 3 years ago, Illinois revoked Dr. Radecki's license to practice medicine. The grounds, engaging in immoral conduct of an unprofessional nature with a patient.
In fact, the
Go figure.
Parenting Institute is Dr. Radecki's home in Urbana, Illinois.
Wow, go figure. Go figure that the so-called trained psychiatrist who was well-versed in the world of Dungeons and Dragons was fucking his clients. That's so bizarre.
He declined to be interviewed.
I'm Anthony Mason with CBS.
But later, he and his wife consented.
When people speak to you over the phone and speak to you and you introduce yourself as Dr. Radecki, do you think they have the right to know that you've lost your license?
I think they certainly I would tell
I changed my first name to Doctor, so no.
Do you tell them if they don't ask?
No. 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 No, my name doesn't appear on any letters that go out or anything like that. It's not used as a sales technique.
But in this letter seeking business advice from Indiana surrogacy attorney Steve Litz, Dr. Radecki introduced himself. I am a psychiatrist.
I am a psychiatrist, and you live on a psychiatry burial ground.
This conduct is, at best, a misrepresentation, and more probably fraudulent.
He's like 5 miles away from that desk.
You have to do this.
No,
not rape.
Nobody has to have any credentials to have a surrogate program.
And that surrogacy experts say is the problem. The industry is almost completely unregulated. Donors and couples have to rely on
boners. He said boners.
Themselves up to be professionals.
Could have.
Not only has Dr. Radecki advertised all over the country for egg donors, from Yale to UCLA.
Women, give me your eggs! I am the Eggman. I am Dr. Robotnik. They call it Doki Doki Panic in Germany.
An interesting and exciting experience for me as a college freshman.
But most surrogacy programs
take my eggs.
They're not mature enough. They have not had a chance to have their own children yet.
Shirley Zager of the nonprofit Organization of Parents Through Surrogacy argues that until the industry is regulated,
it's anything goes. And because of that, people like Dr. Thomas Radecki can open shop.
Diane and Tom Radecki say they were only trying to help infertile couples.
Look at him. Look at him. This is the Dungeons and Dragons expert. This is the face of a man who has let down and abused everybody in his world. This is the face of a man who sees his sins floating before his very eyes. This is a man who's thinking of a saving throw versus suicide. I think she's a professional tennis player, but his questionable wife, she's just like basically doing the interview and is just like, yeah, well, I had a dark elf once. I had every elf and lost it all.
I suppose the public feel that we've been dishonest with them.
Perhaps.
Very sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But we will still continue. I think...
I don't know if we'll continue.
Yesterday, the police called CBS News to say they were disconnecting their phones and going out of business. In Urbana, Illinois,
Oh, God, that's a sad story. The guy who hated Dungeons and Dragons went out of business. Oh, geez, that's the worst thing. Okay, now we've got... oh, wait, not this one. The cults. This is the actual... This is a movie / documentary, again, about Dungeons and Dragons and Satan and cults. So you're going to learn a lot. I got to get out of here at 2, so it might not... Well, I'll be cutting it short. I might be. Especially if it's just blank screen. Waco, 80 die. Further messa. The Singing Plane, August 9th, 1974. Cult. Taxi cab cult. Business card cult.
Truth of the ages, the key word here being...
Of. Oh, truth.
You know much about the second coming? What? Second coming of Christ. Well, I know a little bit about it. You know, the usual stuff you learn in Sunday school. Well, I know you'll enjoy Dr. Shepard's lectures. He's a rather unique Christian. What he has to say...
For your health. For your health.
My life could use some changing.
Expect you to do what you're told. Now, if I or anyone else in authority tell you to do something, you do it as if you were doing it for Christ himself.
But Nate, that's dishonest.
No, I don't want to hear it. Now, you'll either follow the true parents or you'll follow Satan. The choice is yours.
Don't you see, Joseph? It's deception, just like all the rest.
We're your family now.
Oh, it's over now.
You have no place else to go.
The Clits, the movie. Woo! Ooh! FBI warning! Yeah, 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 yeah! Ooh! Boo! This is private home viewing, by the way. I'm in my private home with my privates. Ooh! The following is a true story, but is admittedly told from a personal perspective. Oh, good, it's not told by a robot. We do not claim that this is the way the Unification Church operates in every case, but it's the way they operate in the case of Chris Elkins. Names have been changed in some events reconstructed to be sure that this could not be construed to be anyone else's story than Chris Elkins. Thank you, Chris Elkins. Thank you. Woo! 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 The Clits, the movie. Phoebe. Oh, by the way, woo! Woo! God, this is killing my voice. I can't do that. I'm no Aretha Franklin. Urethra Franklin for TV movies. We have spotted Dungeons and Dragons, Roger. The drone has spotted a 20-sided die. Airstrikes will be called. Air control. Do you know what it is? Yep, traffic. Do you or anyone you know claim to be an elf? Stock footage of circus tents. The end.
I'm walking down a farm-to-market road here in Central Texas. I'm surrounded by pasture.
In case if you didn't know, he's walking down the road. He's surrounded by
land, cows, and horses, and yet, as you can easily see all around me, I'm also surrounded by satellite dishes, news organizations.
News?
Not so very far from here is the FBI.
The FBI?
The National Guard is out here. There is a media event happening out here that you're aware of and that I am. I'm talking about David Koresh. Not too very many yards from here is the Branch Davidians, and they're there and have caught the focus and the attention of the world.
This is boring. Just start the movie. Oh my God. Just talk about Ron Paul and get it over with. Here we go. Here's the movie.
President Nixon and his family boarded a helicopter this morning on the White House lawn to begin their...
In case if you weren't aware, the year is 1974. I know we said before it was 1974, but here's a reference to 1974. Richard Nixon. Also, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series here in 1974. Again, that year, 1974. You're listening to 1974 radio.
Back where it all started.
In the taxi. In the taxi.
How did it happen?
You got out of the taxi.
I guess you could say there were the usual ifs. Met this guy, or if I hadn't said that.
Yeah, that is funny.
This would have happened.
You're right. Maybe it wouldn't. Yeah.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Thank you.
I guess that's what I was searching for.
In 1974.
Barnes put it.
Truth of the ages. Truth of the ages. The key word here being truth.
Professor Barnes, hasn't the truth...
What is truth?
Ah, I quite agree. Truth has been distorted down through the ages, and I'm glad to see that at least one in this class has read the required text.
The rest of you are going to hell, and I will take you there.
Distortion or re-evaluation. As
Who the fuck knows?
In the past, truth may come in many different colors, shapes, and sizes.
Truth might come.
That does not necessarily mean it is not truth. And if this theory
I'm not exactly a good professor.
in our present society, why then should we not apply its principles to
1974.
our past?
Oh, 1973.
Barnes sure was a character. But he had a way of making me think about things I'd never really considered before.
For example, penis.
That was difficult for Tom. He never took anything very seriously.
Who the fuck is
He's
Tom?
been my best friend, but philosophy never was one of his best subjects.
Any careless removal by the
It's a real difficult subject, philosophy.
will show the truth has always, to misquotable.
If philosophy isn't one of your top subjects, then like what could like music theory maybe? I'm trying to think of something that is less useful than philosophy. Webmasterism, one of the two.
Truth has always been the mother of invention.
1974.
Every generation has ordained its own truth.
That's the fire bell. The school's on fire again.
In summary, we should refrain from judging too harshly or too quickly diverse schools of thought, as they might quite possibly become the norm. I will expect you to have read...
Oh my God, a philosophy teacher who wants people to think. Dear God, no, the horror. The horror. Hey man, how's 1974 treating you?
Come off what? You can't admit when you're wrong?
I'm not wrong. You're just looking at the negative side like you always do.
Oh, I do, huh?
Yes.
I'm just saying that mustache doesn't work for you.
Well, what's that for? You told me yourself you were too open-minded.
I did not.
Oh, how quickly we forget.
I said open asshole, you jerk.
When are you gonna get your shit together? People use you. No one cares what's right or wrong or true or false.
He's talking about like 12 different things.
They care whether that guy's telling the truth or not?
Answer a simple question. Why don't you like me?
I just want...
Kiss me.
I don't even like you. I don't
Kiss me, fondle me, kiss me.
Tell all these people who you really are. Yeah, tell us.
For your health.
You're not a Christian. You don't even believe in Jesus.
I do too. I believe that
you
Jesus
believe. You believe in Moon. Tell us.
Moon?
I'm not arguing whether people manipulate the truth or not. All I'm saying is, who cares?
What? I don't care if people are lying to me or not. Just whatever.
No, I just said there's no privacy around here.
I just said I want to stay in my dorm room and play Madden all day and night.
Nobody listens to anyone around here. Well, yeah, it's like living in a zoo. Well, it's kind of impossible to study. No, it hasn't hurt them yet. Well, I should make the dean's list again. Listen, have you seen Ginger lately?
Kind of with some money.
Yeah, well, I think she's mad.
I need to buy things that I don't care about.
I said I think she's mad at me. Well, I haven't written her in a while. Yeah, that's great. Listen, I better let you go.
We're watching the 1974 NFL playoffs.
Yeah, okay. All right, take care. Bye, Dan.
That was my mom. Dear Diary, today I will play Dungeons and Dragons and kill myself in 1974.
All that frat rat stuff.
I got news for you, old buddy. You're a frat rat.
I got news for you, buddy. You're in your 40s. You can't be in a frat.
There's a difference.
Well, this sudden animosity.
It's not animosity. I'm just tired of it, that's all.
Who was on the phone?
I don't know.
My parents.
Wrong number.
Excuse me?
I'm your new parent.
Hello. How you doing? Just wonderful.
For your health. For your health.
Oh, John Bull.
The look of disdain.
You want one?
No, thanks.
I'm leaving because this guy's here and I don't like this guy and I want to be somewhere else.
That's the way it goes.
Frat rat.
You know, there's someone you should meet. He's a friend of mine. His name is Dr.
Satan.
Shepard, and he's lecturing here at the university for several nights. I don't really enjoy.
Do you have an extra bed I could sleep on? I could actually sleep on the couch. That's cool. If you have a floor, I can sleep on that. I tried to sleep on the floor yesterday, but I fell through it. There wasn't any floor. Here, just take all of these. Yeah. Here you go. This is. I got this in Springfield. It says, "Wish you were here," but it wasn't you that I wished.
Yes, sir.
Does he have his hand on his leg?
Yeah, I am a Christian, but no, I don't mind you asking.
You know much about the second coming?
What?
Can I tell you more about Jesus Christ? Here's some pamphlets and literature. Does it bother you that I'm 2 inches away from your face?
Well, I know a little bit.
For your health.
You know, the usual stuff you learn in Sunday school. Well, I know you'll enjoy Dr. Shepard's lectures. He's a rather unique...
Or you'll die.
What he has to say will literally change your life.
For the worse.
My life could use some changing.
After all, I am 60-year-old and taking philosophy 101.
And be sure and don't eat before you come. We serve an excellent meal afterwards. Free.
I don't know.
Please.
Just do it for me, man. Come on.
World not worth your time. This is. There's a vital importance to the rest of your life.
Well, I'm off to nowhere. Hey, I got my Coke. What did I miss?
What do you want?
Would you like a free meal?
Why is his friend going?
I wouldn't have gone to a thing like this. But I felt a strange attraction for what John had to say.
For free meals.
I reached that point in my life where I felt something had to change.
Something has to change.
I'm tired of fraternity life, but of people's attitudes about each other.
Tudes. What accent is that?
I felt like I wasn't going anywhere.
You just did. You went to a house, you dumb fuck. No wonder you're failing philosophy.
So I went to the lecture.
Hey, look, it's the frat rats.
Coming with me. He never could turn down a free meal.
Tom is just a dumb ass piece of inanimate shit.
Nice to see Walking through that front door and being greeted by all those people was... How are you?
Good, thank you.
It was like visiting in someone's home.
You are in someone's home and you are visiting. Hey,
My
hi.
family never really showed their emotions much, so it was quite a different feeling.
They died 20 years ago. Hi. Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Like we were special guests or something.
Very special.
They called themselves the family. I suppose because they were...
God, get off my back, Steve Brule! Now the sacrifice will begin. Everybody get together. We got 2 babies that we're going to cut open. Gary's got the first one. The second one's up for bids.
Good evening, my friends, and all our new friends.
That is all. Have a good night.
Find out about the family. Tonight, we are going to discover one of the most startling secrets ever uncovered in the Bible.
The end of it.
It has to do with the fall of man. In the 3rd chapter of Genesis.
This guy's very charismatic. Welcome.
Now the serpent.
I might feed you after.
More crafty than any beast of the field.
I know you came here for the food.
Let's keep that in our minds.
You didn't come for me, did you?
But also think of what we've been discussing for the past several sessions.
But I will insist that you come on me.
That first night was fascinating.
Is he listening to something else? Does he have an earpiece underneath that hair?
How easily he controlled everyone's interest and respect.
Jodan Baker.
The atmosphere of that room was totally different from that of the classes at school. A lot of my professors, like Professor Barnes, were considered jokes. Most people slept through his classes. But no one was sleeping in this group.
Because they would be hit.
Eyes were riveted on Dr. Shepard. He seemed to possess that special quality that sets great men apart.
Oh, charisma? Yeah, he's got that in spades.
Like that. They were all probably considered a little strange, too. But they were...
The fish was this big. But then it got this big.
Over the next several nights, Dr. Shepard spoke on man's sinful nature.
Oh my God, they sat there for 3 days?
Traditionally accepted version of the fall of man.
Here's a word.
Truly believed.
Here's another word. Together, they make 2 words.
Eve being tempted by a literal snake with a literal apple was silly.
Literal.
Then Dr. Shepard began telling us about
Counting to the number 6.
Reverend Moon. He told us how Reverend Moon had worked and prayed to find out why man was so sinful.
God bless Sun Myung Moon.
His prayers were finally answered. And now that answer was available to us.
Let me go. I've been here for 4 days. Please, for God's sake, feed me and let me go.
Never came back after that first night.
I killed him.
Over the next several days, I tried to share some of the things I was learning with him. But he just seemed to get more and more irritated by my interest in the family.
Perhaps because you're annoying?
Are you going back?
I don't know.
You're going back.
They're listening to Price is Right.
I'm not making a big deal out of it.
I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't be in a fraternity if we're grandparents. Don't drink root beer, it's a sin.
You buy all that goodness and love bit? Why not? Then you're just as crazy as they are.
You're splaying, sir.
Well, do you want Billy to succeed you as president or not?
Yeah, sure I do.
Well, then skip that lecture and come to the elections tonight. Besides, it'll be your last...
We're going to elect the president of 1974.
You know, I've been thinking the way to handle these elections...
Is to vote.
What are you getting dressed up for?
Your funeral.
I just thought I would.
Since when do you dress up to go to elections?
You motherfucker.
Where are you going?
A couple places. I gotta go. I'll see you later.
Hey, Chris.
To recall from last time, the fall of man was the result of sexual sin. And because of this, mankind was conceived into a relationship based on Satan, not on God. Now man must be restored to that relationship.
When's the food? Is it food time?
Not saved. When we draw this timeline from the time of Adam to the time of Jacob, we have a period of 1,917 years.
1974.
The reason this time period is so important to God's plan is because Adam lost his godly inheritance.
Fuck you, Adam.
Jacob restored it.
Peace out, Jacob.
So when Jacob stole the birthright from Esau,
This man has the charisma of a wood saw.
Dedication in Dr. Shepard. I remember wishing that I could care that much about something.
But I'm a nihilist. I believe in nothing.
I knew what my parents would have thought of him. And maybe he did seem strange.
Now look here. If you kick the field goal, you get 3 points.
Right or wrong.
But you can also run it if you want to get that extra first down.
That strongly in it. Maybe something was there.
Maybe.
And if there was,
Bunch of fucking
I was
nerds.
the one who was crazy if I didn't go beyond first impressions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hoped it was true.
Oh, how I
It would be
hoped.
so wonderful if I had that kind of dedication.
the Messiah was to be the second Adam.
This is like the guy who walks down the street in New York and gets hornswoggled by every single shyster and charlatan because he's a fucking rube from the sticks.
But that's not what happened.
No.
He was supposed to be married and produce godly children, but the Jews murdered him.
Fucking Jews.
Supposed to die. Murdered him.
Jews are bad.
Again. The kings are back in control of the world.
Oh no!
They have continued so for nearly 2,000 years.
chill.
Jeff Juden, yes. Did anybody hear a word I said? I didn't. I was not paying attention. I was thinking about the year 1974.
Hey, Chris, over here.
There's a hole in the wall for some reason.
Sorry I'm late.
I was afraid you didn't get my message.
I almost didn't when I came in this morning.
I did get your message. It said you're a giant pussy. What's up?
Well, the meeting wasn't over till late, so I just stayed.
No, I mean, why weren't you at the election?
You've got a toothpick in your ear. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by it.
I just didn't make it.
I know you didn't make it. Where were you?
You know where I was.
Now we can't elect anybody because you weren't there.
I told you how important this was.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God. He missed the elections? How are they going to elect?
Okay. How do you do?
How you do?
How do you think?
I know how important this was to you. I know.
No.
There are just some things that are more important than fraternity elections. If you came to another...
We elected the entire fraternity because you weren't there.
I think one religious fanatic in the house is just about enough.
Tom, I don't necessarily buy it all. It's just that...
He's such a good friend.
In Sunday school, they used to say...
You're a motherfucker.
They used to say...
You're a stupid motherfucker who didn't help us elect a fraternity. Now look what you've done.
And one look at
100,000 people are dead because of you.
those people. Everything has got to be okay. I have never felt so close to a group of people.
Close.
So quickly.
What is his accent? Where's it from?
I could laugh
Close.
or cry or sing or pray without worrying about what anyone else would think of me. Do you know how good that feels?
You can just go to church and do that, you stupid fuck. You don't have to go to a cult house.
Understand?
Man. I like smelling my knuckles.
If God is love,
Love. Love.
I think God is with them.
Do you have any milk?
Are you gonna join?
He already has.
They asked me. I think I would.
I gotta go. I got a lab in 10 minutes.
I've got to go elect something somewhere. I'm going to eat my books.
Hello.
For your health.
You here? John, what are you doing? Mind if I sit down?
I like hanging out in colleges. Some people say it's weird. Other people say it's illegal, but I like it.
Couldn't help noticing you look upset. Well, it's just a little hassle with a friend of mine.
Over the family?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Oh, we have our sources.
We've been following you. We've been watching you sleep.
He thinks I'm crazy.
You don't know how many times you exhaled last night? Because I counted.
I think there's something you need to realize. You're not alone. I can imagine the struggle you're going through. I went through the same thing.
Why are the shots so close up on everything?
It's not easy taking a stand for God. Don't you think some of Paul's or Peter's friends thought they were crazy? Satan will use any means at his disposal to keep you from serving God. Friends? Family? Anything or anyone. You've got
Bales of hay?
for what it is.
Tractors?
Most of the time, the people Satan uses don't even realize they're being used. He's very clever and
I want to pop those zits on his forehead, like right here.
at all times.
Heh.
Remember, my friend, family is always there if you need us.
Just remember, my friend, free food after every stupid cult seminar.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I think you'll find this last lecture tonight the most interesting of them all.
It's about dicks.
Don't worry.
How to make babies with them. Well, I'm off to another college.
When I arrived that evening, I was surprised to find the house. It was sad to see a place where I had witnessed so much love and warmth, so empty and cold. It was almost, in a way, frightening. It didn't seem like the same place somehow.
God, the house was empty? What the fuck?
Changed.
How, an empty house? Oh, dear God.
Waiting. I decided to look through Dr. Shepard's books that he kept on the podium. They were full of references to the Reverend Moon.
Moon.
He was constantly being referred to as Father. And there was even one instance where he and his wife were called the True Parents.
The True Parrots.
I remember one...
Peter and Paul Parrot.
He was as dynamic a speaker as Dr. Shepard.
God, shut up. Ah! Dad's back!
I just got here.
Good.
Sorry, can you turn down the reverb on the mic?
John tells me you talked to him.
It's the tall man from Phantasm!
Oh, yeah, I ran into him at the sub.
John's a nice young man. You might find him a bit...
stupid.
But God gives each of us special gifts and talents.
His special gift is his hair. It's very special.
This is quite a fact.
Boy!
What does it mean?
Please.
Shut up.
We'll get to that. One thing at a time.
First, I want you to kill yourself. After that, I'll tell you whatever you need to know.
Where's everyone else? I thought maybe
I ask everyone
They're here, they're tiny. Don't ask.
alone during this last battle.
I didn't pay the electric bill. That's the thing. I cast a spell on them. I thought I was going to make them invisible, but it just actually killed them with poison gas that I actually released after I bought the poison gas to kill them. Suck your own dick.
Chris? Chris, do you think you'll be prepared for Christ coming when it happens?
Love can bloom on the battlefield.
Yes.
Leo.
I think so.
Couldn't it have already happened and you missed it?
You late asshole.
No, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
You're sure you'll be prepared for his coming, right?
He said the word his.
Sure.
I want you to take off your clothes.
Imagine you and I lived 2,000 years ago, the time when Jesus first came. If
We're partners.
I'm sure we would have been prepared for the advent of the Messiah. Imagine that one day one of your Jewish friends came to you and said he thought that a Nazarene carpenter was the Christ.
But sir, I'd never have a Jewish friend, sir.
I would have said...
Fuck off. In Latin.
Well, that's understandable.
He wouldn't understand you, though, because you're speaking English.
The Jews expected, even though they had prepared for
Jew-G-O.
even though they lived for the day, many of them missed him.
Oh, shit. They were, like, out shopping or something.
Are prepared for Christ's return. But couldn't they also miss him, just as the Jews did?
Sir,
I'll show you something.
I don't know. I can't even see you.
It tells us that in Revelation.
Uh-huh.
But will he come to us on clouds?
Jesus is in the cloud.
Unknown.
How many terabytes is cloud Jesus, sir?
Perhaps the clouds are just symbolic. Like
Maybe.
The apple and the snake in Genesis, you remember.
Maybe I'm symbolic of a dickhead.
Sure. Okay. Our timelines show us
Mm-hmm.
that God has sent a major messenger to us
In 1974.
17 years to 1,930 years since the beginning of mankind.
All right. Gotcha.
That a child was born in the East between 1917 and 1930 who was the Christ, it would have been easy to miss him. I mean, after all, Jesus identified John the Baptist as having come in the spirit of Elijah. John assumed the spirit and the mission of Elijah.
Sir, you lost me.
He did not come in the same physical body.
All I heard was 1917, and then I kind of tuned out. Can you tell me it again, please?
Come in the same physical body. So, if Christ were born in the East between 1917 and 1930, he must be alive today.
With the sound of music.
More important than knowing him. It's like living at the time of Jesus. What could be more important?
Anything.
Knowing.
Anything.
Following.
Literally anything.
But Joseph, who is he?
Somebody. A guy.
That you'll have to discover for yourself.
You failed me.
But God has given us the keys to discover the answer. We know he will come from the East. We also know he sends his messengers to prepared people.
What I'm saying is he was born between the year 347 BC and 5 billion AD.
Christians?
Where in the East are there the most Christians?
Depends how far east you go. Cuba.
Korea.
No.
Right.
Wrong. You just keep going east, you get back to the U.S.
In the East, from 1917 to 1930, he must be at least 66 years old or as young as 43. If he's that old, he must have a worldwide mission organization. And one more.
Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Always sends his messengers who will be rejected and persecuted in their own times.
I've eaten all the chalk.
Say something.
I'm crying from boredom, sir.
Is he the Christ?
Maybe. Yes. No. I don't know. Maybe.
Chris, pray to God. Ask him. I cannot tell you. After all, in Matthew it says, believe no one who tells you, lo, there
It says, those who eat burgers have the farts.
Do you believe
in love?
Christ?
Now, if I told you what I believe, you might believe because I do. I don't want to be responsible for your decision.
That's why I'm telling you what to believe.
Pray about it. Come back tomorrow. Okay?
By the way, nobody's here because they don't like you. They're coming right after you leave. I got this guy. Hi, Dad!
Father will be pleased. I have to admit that I wasn't totally convinced about everything I heard.
Okay, so Dianetics here. You got aliens inside of you from a volcano.
I was gonna have to commit myself.
Can I wash your car? Do you want to smell this flower? It squirts water. Oh, no. We just wanted to sell flowers and talk about Dianetics. Goodbye, Alexander. Oh, God, you killed my flowers. Oh, no, now we cannot sell them even more. Yep. Yeah, here we go. Yep. So, okay, $13 total. Not going to cover the meat. Wow! We really hit the gas on this movie. Holy shit. You will sell flowers. You will say aborgy. Oh, God. Oh, God. Aborgy! Wake the fuck up! You got roses to sell, bitch. They're saying it all wrong. I don't know how to break it to them.
Magnificent sight, isn't it? 5 o'clock. Every Sunday morning, all over the world, thousands of the family on their knees to the true parents.
$1,000 chair, come on.
Even their lives.
They don't need a $1,000 chair. They're on the fucking floor. That's a $0 floor.
Magnificent.
Joseph, I'm sorry I'm late. I slept bad.
Chris, how long have you been with the family now?
2 days.
6 or 7 months, I guess.
Are you happy?
Yes.
No.
The master is starting a leadership training school at Windermere, an estate the church owns on the Hudson River, upstate New York.
It's always good when you join a religion and there's somebody called the master who's alive.
Capability to attend.
His name is Joseph Smith, and his friends broke him out of prison in a shootout.
Me? Didn't I read on your application that you were quite involved with the Young Republicans? And
Of course he was! Of fucking course!
Wherever you need me, that's where I'll be.
This is the embodiment of the Young Republicans, except he doesn't vote. That's the one thing. I'm not circumcised.
I think God has sent us here just to find you. Must have great works for you to do.
The other people, they just kind of mumble and kneel, and I don't know what they're doing, quite frankly. But you,
don't fail him.
You're our Young Republican of the month.
I won't.
I don't doubt it.
Joseph,
Why is the chair so tiny?
since I'll be going to New York, I was wondering if I might go by my parents first. My brother's graduating this Saturday, and I thought maybe I could tell them where I'm going.
They're gonna buy roses. They're gonna buy roses. Think about that extra $7 in your hand.
Chris, there is great freedom in letting go.
Great freedom.
I have the feeling you're sitting on the fence in respect to your parents. You have to choose one side or the other. You're either in the service of God or Satan.
Maybe I shouldn't tell them.
No.
That they're Satan.
It would be dishonest of us. But you must tell them in the right way. Do not sound...
And this is the right way. What these other people kneeling down are saying. You go up to your parents and you go,
I want you to go and visit. To see you at Windermere.
Windermere.
Okay.
Go to Windjammermere.
Chris.
You dropped your condom.
There's something else I want you to know. If you ever try to leave the family, I will personally come and get you wherever you go. Even if you don't come back from your home, I will come and get you.
That's not weird.
Family now. Remember that.
I like boats. I just meant I'll pick them up from the airport.
We want to thank you for all your blessings. Our health, our home.
Our flowers. Flowers.
We want to thank you also, Father, for bringing Chris home in time for Jim's graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask that you bless his life and everything.
Yep. Bless everything.
We thank you for this food.
Yep.
And we pray
Stop it.
Bless it to our use and for our body's nourishment.
Protect
Our annoying son.
All these things in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
true parents. Amen.
The name of the what?
Huh? No, I'm not late for my appointment. It's at 3 o'clock. It's 1:20. I still have an hour. Thank you, Lacanian Lifter.
Well, what are you in there?
Money for more great flags. Great copyright flags, yes.
With you, we go sailing and borrow the boat.
Mm-hmm.
All right with you, Mother?
Yeah. I'm just old. I'm not really his mom.
Time since we've been sailing.
You still
Here, have a rock.
Come on,
Have some rocks.
bicycle. You don't forget how to sail a boat.
Here you go. How many rocks you want?
You can't ride a bicycle.
Because you're a stupid fucking imbecile.
Our best sailor. I always thought so.
Meal time's over. Cult time begins.
You look like you're losing weight.
I'm losing my mind.
Fasting? Yeah. You're okay? Sure.
No.
They think this moon's got control of your mind is turning you into a raving vegetarian.
A raping vegetarian?
Eat right.
I do.
If you eat right, you'll worship the correct God.
Will you cut that out? Every time Chris says something, you two roll your eyes at each other.
If you don't mind, Jim, we're talking to our son, our other son. Now, Chris, you're right.
Our other son. Did he flub that line intentionally, or was that written?
What have they been saying?
Why aren't you eating your rocks?
The usual. You believe them? I don't know. It's none of my business.
Whatever. Let me tell you about Some Young Moon. In the time frame before 5000 BC and 25 gazillion AD, a man will be born, and that man will have powers, and he will be Korean. We call him Korean Jesus, too.
Do you remember when we came out with Bobby and Brenda?
I remember he came out.
Oh, they finally got married. I think they're living in Seattle now.
Mm-hmm. I don't like you anymore. Boats. I'm steering it.
How you been doing?
Fine. You?
Fine.
You know, your corpse would sink really quickly out here. Just saying that.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Can I tell you about thetans? You've got a whole shitload of them inside of you, and I'm going to trap you inside the bulkhead of this boat and just bang on it and make ghost sounds for half an hour.
But it has. You're distant. It's like you're in another world most of the time. And all you talk about is
Super Mario World 64.
Oh, Ginger.
It's true.
You must have been talking to my parents. You should have heard them when I called them and told them that I was going to join the family.
How did you expect them to?
Well, a little support, a little love.
A little you know what? Little scratch for my rose collection. Ah, the dorkness. Oh, Duchess.
Okay, what are you doing?
Duchess, woo, dun 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 dun. Cult members are boating now, yeah. Duchess.
Well, isn't that what the church teaches?
I get free food just for selling roses. Give me a break.
But I went with her to one of the family's lectures here in town. When she tried to ask questions after the lecture, they ushered her out the door.
Yeah, I've seen the type. They're not really interested in the truth.
They put a bullet in her head.
Look, Ginger, I didn't mean it that way. It's just there are some things.
Hold on, we're making a hard turn here.
But there were a lot of things I didn't understand about the church when I was going here.
Like chairs. What do they do?
I'm not sure if there's something wrong with the family or if it's just me. See, there's so much that's good
Why
about the
wouldn't
family.
they ask questions? They would have never done that here. You remember where it says in the Bible that you should love the Lord your God with all your heart?
I didn't read that part. I didn't read all of it.
Can we learn if we don't ask questions? How else can we tell what the truth and what?
It's the boat from Zombie 2. They're gonna. No, it's the boat from Contamination. They're gonna find the avocados on the lower floor.
Parents, for one.
That's ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
They have funny ways of showing it.
They say I love you. That means they don't.
Dr. Shepard was right.
I am Bob Saget.
The more I talked to Ginger that day,
the more I hated her.
The deeper my commitment to the family became. I saw in her the same unreasoning fear that I had seen in my parents. I knew this was
Fuda.
There was no turning back. My course lay before me.
Fuda, you gotta tell the rest of the story first. Like type it out somewhere on some blog or some shit. It's great.
name kept going over and over in my mind, like some distant, promised land.
What?
Flowing with milk and honey. Where
What?
everything was good and honest and decent.
It was not a foot fetish thing, no. It was a purchasing games thing.
What are you doing here?
I came to pet your dog.
So? Well, I'm with the family.
I was sweating bullets.
Can't go in there. That's where the master lives. You're supposed to stay in the dorm.
The dorm.
The dorm.
Just follow that path. There'll be someone down there to tell you where your room is.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I like your dog. He's a real dick. Ding, ding. Beep, beep. You will be staying in this obelisk. Obelisk.
Hi, yeah, I'm Chris Elkins. They told me to...
Slam the door. Slam the door.
Yeah, come on in.
Oh, good. He moved from one fraternity to another.
Chris, what's your last name?
Elkins.
Chris Elfman.
You're in B.
B's nuts. Let's see here. 6'1", dickhead. Yep.
Yeah, this is it. Make yourself comfortable. Oh, where's everybody?
I got my glasses from Jocelyn. From who the? I just fucked up my own joke. Never mind. You'll be sleeping on the floor.
So this was Windermere. I felt nervous.
It wasn't feet stuff. No. Fuda Snake. It wasn't feet stuff. It was transsexual stuff. That's what it was.
I guess disappointed. I don't know what I expected, but this was just different. It's not that I expected a red carpet greeting or anything. It's just...
Yeah, I was just clearing up the story.
Sort of lifeless. Over the next several weeks, my spirits improved little.
Maybe because I was living in a hovel with 25 other transients.
Asked me to come by the main house after dinner. I was really excited. I knew something important was about to happen.
I knew I would get pregnant that night. Do you like eggs?
Great, wonderful. What are you doing here?
I've been transferred to Washington. How was your trip home?
Like you said it would be.
I converted my mom and dad, but to AC/DC, that's differently.
He's president of the Freedom Guidance Foundation. Do you know who they are?
Yes, I've read the publication.
Ah, young and old Republicans, finally.
Much more than just the publication of a newspaper. They're the spearhead of Father's future and world politics.
World politics?
That's right, Chris. Someday, have a seat.
Someday, have a seat.
Someday, hopefully soon, Father will not only be head of a one-world religion, but a totally united world.
Someday, I will put Werther's candy in this bowl, and I will become Grandma of the Year.
But in order to accomplish our goals, we must have friends, influential friends in the right places.
And not the Jews.
Considerable headway in Korea and Japan, and to some extent here in the United States. We still have a long way to go. This is where the Freedom Guidance Foundation comes in.
We're free to kill the Jews to get out of our way.
Anti-communist organization. Now, through it,
We've already made our...
Why are they listening to ye oldie gramophone music?
People with influence on Capitol Hill. But now we are faced with our greatest challenge of all.
And that's where you come in.
This all sounds very fascinating.
It's more insane than fascinating, but yeah, we'll go with that.
I tell you that President Nixon is under quite a bit of pressure to resign. Father, sensing God's timing, sent President Nixon a personal letter urging him to remain in office. And if he did, Father personally pledged the entire church organization to his support.
Is he going to...
It is a young Republicans meeting, and old.
He received a personal letter from the president on December 11th expressing his appreciation for Father's support.
Wow. Man, he's going to get all those votes from Korea and Japan. Good job.
Especially some of our better-looking female members doing volunteer work.
You know, tits, that kind of thing.
Protest marches and sit-ins all over the country in support of the president. We also have the staffs of all our different organizations writing letters, handing out leaflets in the street, putting up posters, all in support of President Nixon.
Desperately need.
What we're trying to tell you is we make bad choices and we do it frequently, and we want you to join us.
Now, we already have a contact in the White House. He's making sure that Father is invited to important functions. But what we really need is someone from the family who knows his way around. Someone...
And we couldn't find that man, so we chose you, the complete opposite.
But I don't have any real experience, not at that level. What about the leadership school?
What about the leader? Look at this guy talking about leadership school.
Well, I think you have enough to start.
That was stupid son of a bitch.
Everything else you need to know. Besides, remember Moses. All you have to have is the willingness to go.
Of course I'm willing. This is a great opportunity. It's a real honor.
I can't wait to tell people about Nixon and Reverend Sung Myung Moon.
I'm sure.
This is my dream job. I'd pay you to do it.
Oh, of course you will. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot.
Okay, you'll need this handgun.
Your new address in Washington.
Oh.
Can you be there tomorrow morning?
Of course.
Fine. Have a good flight.
Here's a list of people we want you to kill. It's called the kill list.
We'll run into each other in Washington. Good luck.
Foodagate.
Thanks, Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Selter.
He's gonna be dead in hours.
Well, what do you think?
You were right.
Idiot.
He's perfect.
Complete, perfect idiot. That's it. That's your house.
During the next week, I immersed myself in our Washington operation. I was anxious to learn as much as possible, as quickly as possible.
Hello, would you like roses? No, okay. Hello, would you like roses? No, okay. Hello, would you like roses? No, okay. Hello, would you like to put hot nails and pencils up my butt? Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chin. Yeah, I was expecting your call. Mr. Selter said you had a special assignment.
Oh, God, he's turning into Max Headroom. Yeah. What, that is special. I mean, grotesque. Is that dick sucking sounds that I hear? I get...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, with a pencil.
Shove it up your butt and heat it up. You're my favorite customer. Uh-huh. Yeah.
A what? A Samoyed?
We want you to move a dog. We need a dog displacer, okay? Here's the problem. The dog's in one location, and there's another location where the dog needs to be. So we need someone to physically displace the dog from point A to point B.
Mr. Chin had me run all over Washington looking for a pet store that had a Samoyed, a large, solid white dog.
Mm-hmm.
It seems it was the birthday of one of Moon's daughters, and the staff had forgotten to buy her anything.
So I got him a 15-year-old dog.
She specifically wanted a Samoyed, and they couldn't find one in New York.
Because the Jews took them all.
Their inside man at the White House.
Hey, you got that cat I wanted. And that's when I met my wife. Let me carry you across the threshold, dear.
It costs $300.
Fuck you! I want 2 dogs. And not for petting.
Yeah, hello.
Chris?
Yeah.
Nate Seltzer.
Seltzer.
Did you handle that assignment for Mr. Chin?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. You know what he had me do?
Do?
He had me spend all day searching Washington, D.C. for a $300 dog.
I know, that's important.
And then carry it all the way to Windermere in a taxi. Just to tell me that he... that dog must have cost $600.
Uh-huh. Good job, Lao Wai.
Listen, I have another assignment for you.
I want you to get me a hamburger, and I want you to feed it to me like a baby bird.
Nothing. Dog's here, and I was just talking to him. He was chewing on some furniture. Come here.
I call my dick furniture, by the way.
I want you to meet me in the Senate office building in the morning. Room 1425, 6 a.m.
6 o'clock.
But it's 5:59.
Oh, it's just after 3. I just got to bed.
You've only been in Washington 1 week. You already tired of your job?
Yes.
I'll be there.
What we need in the Senate building is about 600 roses. I'm going to sell them to each senator for just huge markup. Then what I want you to do is I want you to get on the Canadian border, and I want you to sell chiclets. I want you to run up to cars that are waiting in line to get through customs, and I want you to sell chiclets.
Interesting. Very interesting.
All of the people you're looking at are with the family. Now, those rallies were staged at various places all over the country. Phoenix, Washington, Dallas.
How large were the groups?
All
8 people.
Put together by our
At most.
Guidance Foundation. Plus, we're also in the process of placing full-page ads in every major newspaper across the country.
It says, crazy assholes, come join us.
It's impressive. Now tell me again about the different front organizations that we have available to us.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Of course, we don't like to...
We sell white dogs to idiots.
They're just groups whose association with the church is best kept secret. You know how people are.
That I do.
Well, of course,
Why is he even
We
here?
went to great lengths to explain to the senator who we were and what we could do for President Nixon.
I was shot by a 22 round in my chin.
To the point of what Mr. Seltzer and Reverend Moon wanted in exchange for their help.
Lots of flowers.
Started out by saying all they wanted to do was to make sure the country remained united. But what he ended up saying was he felt sure President Nixon and Reverend Moon had a lot of common interests.
Women.
They could be of benefit to one another.
Lying.
I was amazed. I fully expected the senator to throw us out. But instead he smiled and said he felt certain something could be worked out to everyone's benefit.
Under the table, little hush money, little...
I don't know what it was, but I never really felt comfortable around Mr. Seltzer.
It might be because he's fucking insane. Maybe.
He noticed that I seemed unhappy.
Welcome to the Lemon Elevator. Next stop, Lemon.
I told him it wasn't the trouble I'd gone to for nothing that bothered me, so much as spending all that money for nothing. It was the lack of integrity that bothered me.
Yeah, how did he get $300?
Seltzer didn't seem too pleased with my observations.
I'm not pleased with your observation.
You're telling me that you feel you have the right to arbitrarily decide what you will do and won't do?
Yes, I think so.
Then we'd better talk.
We are. I'm giving my thumb a blowjob.
Dr. Shepard said you were to be trusted, that you knew how to take orders.
I don't understand. What have I done?
Don't question your orders.
What kind of diner has a vending machine? I'd like some Twix. Here's 2 quarters.
Father says he wants a $300 dog. You get him a $300 dog. If he wants a senator or a president, you get him those 2. dare you question your orders?
I didn't mean to.
He's gonna have to get him a senator? He's gonna have to carry a senator to the mansion? This is escalated. Jesus.
You do it as if you were doing it for Christ himself.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to question
in your authority. I'm interested in whether or not you...
Why are they being lit by a heat lamp?
But I won't do something that I think is wrong.
Yes, you will.
You'll never forgive me.
What I want you to do is carry 2 dogs now.
More at stake here than you know.
And they're even bigger.
Now, for the last several years, Father has been building diligently toward the kingdom. Now, political power is just one facet of that.
He uses the dogs to step on them like ladders because he doesn't believe in ladders.
We're involved in everything from banks to pharmaceuticals. We've built schools, held scientific seminars attended by some of the foremost scientists in the world.
Whoa, science.
Cultural exchanges, published newspapers.
Here's our culture. Nah, we're okay. We don't want it. No, take our culture. Nah. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Be recognized by the world for who he is.
Yeah, but it just seems to me like we're going about it in the wrong way. I mean, supporting Nixon, for example. I mean, I've been reading a lot about Watergate, and I've talked to a lot of people.
Oh, come on. You're a young Republican who's not young. So, the universal shutdown response.
Look, Chris, I don't care what he's done as long as we get what we want.
So,
Either follow the true parents or you'll follow Satan. The choice is yours.
Satan. Big Satan. Big Satan. You're going to pay for my coffee, and you're going to carry 7 dogs now. We're just going to make a pyramid of dogs on top of each other.
What about me? He treated me like a child.
Calm down.
This is 1974. Come on.
I know Mr. Selter can be a little strong-willed sometimes, but he's not unreasonable.
He's not.
Why do you have a hair dryer over here?
I don't even know why I'm arguing about this. It's not really what's bothering me.
Merry Christmas. Welcome to the electric chair.
Did it ever bother you?
What?
The inconsistencies.
The dog carrying.
I don't know what you mean.
1 minute, we're preaching truth and love in God's kingdom on earth. The next, we're selling flowers on street corners, telling people working for a drug rehabilitation program.
Chris, you know as well as I do.
That's probably the least of your problems.
Yes, but that's not where the money goes. It comes here.
It goes to the dogs, man, and I'm not using a euphemism. I have to buy dogs.
Don't you see? It's wrong. It's deceptive.
I hardly think deceptive's the word.
What about Nixon? I confronted Mr. Selter with the fact that Nixon is probably guilty. Do you
Probably.
know what he said to me? So. He said he didn't care if Nixon was guilty as long as we got what we wanted from him.
And what we want is a white dog.
Someone's gonna have to tell Father what's going on.
And we want it on time, bitch.
He already knows. It's his plan. He knows Nixon's guilty. We all do. But God often works for those that seem least worthy.
What am I doing here?
If I knew who Donald Trump was right now, I would say something about him.
Don't you understand? If you make deals with dishonesty, you become dishonest. If you make deals with deception, you become deceptive.
What if you make deals with pizza? Do you become pizza, sir? You made a deal with a dog. Are you now a white dog?
Bringing about God's kingdom on earth. All we're really doing, building our own.
Believe that.
For your punishment, you're going to carry several thousand dogs.
Let me ask you something.
And we're not even telling you where you're going to be carrying them.
Do you really believe that Moon is the Christ?
Yes, no, maybe. Shut up.
I asked you this once before. Long time ago.
Yes. I remember.
And I turned down your marriage proposal.
such hopes for you.
Yeah, me too.
Now you're for the dogs.
You still haven't answered my question. Is Moon the Messiah?
You don't really want to know the answer.
Yes, I do.
Do.
I really do.
What we do is we actually worship barbells.
Chris, do you remember?
No more.
No.
The straightforward truth. Is Moon the
Truth.
Messiah?
I can't answer that for you. If you haven't discovered the truth for yourself by now, how can I help you?
I'm not asking you about me. I'm asking what you believe.
Shut up.
Look, you're willing to die for the man. You must think so.
You're gay.
Answer me. If I asked a Muslim...
Stop talking.
Tell me. If I asked a Christian who Jesus was, he'd tell me. Why won't you, if you believe that Moon is the Christ?
Moon.
Why won't you tell anyone? Why do you hide it? Don't you see, Joseph, it's deception, just like all the rest.
It's not deception.
It's lying.
Heavenly deception.
It's a big difference. What we do is we don't tell the people the truth.
Heavenly deception.
Honestly, ever.
I don't believe it. What in the world are you talking
Chris,
about?
Do you remember when I showed you?
Do you remember when you were a wee tot and I spanked you on the bottom on my knee?
Complete his mission. Satan controls the world. He has deceived everything good into evil. Now God...
Man, Satan's been taking control of shit for a long time. Since 74, Jesus Christ.
But listen to what you're saying. You're saying it's all
No.
right to lie and steal and cheat in order to rid the world of lying, stealing, and cheating. Don't you think that's a little inconsistent?
With what?
With who?
Where does this guy think he's going to ultimately go trying to talk logic to him?
For any reason.
If it was necessary
So what?
to bring about his case...
I hate you.
Yes.
Listen, just bring the dog to the house.
Joseph.
That's all we're asking you to do. And also sell roses and just hang around senators.
Only men deceive men.
What about women?
I'll have you transferred back.
They deceive men.
Chris, pray to God. Ask his forgiveness. Ask him to show you the truth.
Which one of these doors do I use to get out?
Joseph?
Oh, not this one. This is the bathroom.
That is the first bit of good advice you have ever given me.
Chris.
I didn't mean to, if that's any consolation.
Irrational because of this. Chris, do you remember when I once told you?
Oh, hi, Chris.
If you ever tried to leave the family, I would come after you?
Well, I changed my mind. You're not worth it.
We're your family now.
You're not even a dog carrier.
No place else to go.
Am I getting enough sleep? Pretty sure I am. Thank you for asking. Wow, he got out of that apartment really quickly. I should get 8 hours of sleep. Good. That's how many I got. No, I think I got 7. Yeah, that Chris guy, he's a real dickhead. Don't give him another dog. This movie's almost over. Good. We got 7 more minutes. Woo! And then I gotta leave to get MRIs and x-rays. Woo! Dog Patrol in color. He's been looking out the window for the entire day? Good for him. Good for that man. Yeah, I can make my MRI impersonation again if you want me to. I can do a really good MRI impersonation because I've gotten so many of them. Back, you fucker. We dipped the poles in mustard. I quit. I will never pick up a dog again. Also, where is this dog? We hate you, Chris. Ooh, the classic movie trick. Take me to Petco.
I'm off duty. Hey, what's going on here? You in trouble or something?
No, there's just someone I don't want to see.
Hey, you're that guy that's got the white dog. Where's the white dog right now?
What blue car?
Look, here's 20. Can we get out of here, please?
You got it.
Ah, yes, the days where $20 could make a cab driver do anything. Yes, the chase scene! Finally, action! Wait, no, he's not being chased. Wait, he is. Wait. He'll never... Wait. He just runs into all the people. I need 2 tickets, one for me and one for my ghost dog, who I killed. This is back when you could buy airport tickets just like at the front gate. For your health, for your health. I really like your bow. You look like a really bad gift. For your health, ma'am. For your health. Chris, for your health.
Chris!
I love you. Come on! Okay, let me tell you the story. We gave him a dog to carry, and he carried it to a Korean man's house, and the Korean man said, we already have a dog, and then they turned him away, and then he had the dog, and then he brought the dog back, and then he complained about the dog, and then the dog disappeared. Why aren't you letting me in?
No one took it. Anyone who tells you different is trying to deceive you.
It's not deception. It's heavenly deception. It's heavenly deception.
Uh-huh.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's
I didn't understand a single word of that.
for the truth. But it wasn't the search that was wrong.
Is that a hand grenade up there?
And I guess letting people obscure my view of the truth.
Hmm.
Everything Ginger said to me on the boat that day now
I forgot.
makes sense. And I know that if I'm ever going to find the truth, I'm going to have to walk in that door.
But it's Thursday and in the afternoon and there's nobody there. Hey, any of you guys need a white dog? You want to buy some flowers? I need to get another white dog.
Glad to see me. And as I walked in that door, it was
I was booed.
hear God say, Chris, you were dead and have come to life.
Ruff, 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 ruff. Oh God, it's full of white dogs. I could never escape my past ever since that day. Me, the 96-year-old fraternity member. Oh, thank Jesus for not being in a cult where I have to buy and sell flowers and there's dogs and whatnot. I hope all 30-something people enjoyed the overtly long stream. I gotta go get my MRI and x-rays now, so To conclude, I would like to say that cults bad, Satan good, cults of Satan maybe good or bad. I don't know. You can dabble. There's dabbling involved. Also, Dungeons and Dragons bad unless if it's good, in which case it is bad. Don't play underneath the overpass. And that's all I could think of. Yeah, wish me luck with my wonderful, fun 2 MRIs and 4 X-rays so they can diagnose me with spinal stenosis and I can start getting injections in my lower back, because there's nothing more fun than having to live your entire life as a hostage to your degrading shitbag spine. It's fun. And Caves of Hell, yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching again. And thank you for the monetary contributions. I will use them to buy white dogs that I will deliver from point A to point B in an overtly long period of time. And the dog will be returned somewhere to my hotel where he will disappear.
Rated M for mature. Yo, Shondu presents Caves of Hell. Where am I? Who the whoa, who was that? Whoa, wait a sec. Holy crap, I fell down in these caves. Shit. The rocks must have buried my exit. Looks like I'll have to find another way out. Yeah, sure, there's an exit.